Hey everyone, thanks for clicking. Welcome to On the Ropes. So we're kicking off our project today. It's a feature-length film directed by this guy.
Nick Tatey.
And written by
Mark Lombardo.
And the story originally by Ryan Burke and Nick Tatey. So we're really excited that we have you here. Nick and I are also actors in it.
Yeah.
Playing a blue-collar hero, boxing hero named Joey Bagliano. And he's one of my lifelong friends. So
Vinny.
It's really a tale about this blue-collar guy who's gonna go at all lengths to protect his family, even if it means the ultimate sacrifice, which is his dream.
Mm-hmm. So
this man's put in the decision between his passion and his family, and has to make a really difficult decision. So it's a big story about community as well, what he feels like he owes to the community, and what that community can do for him. And he's put to kind of an ultimate test, which will either be his destruction or his salvation. And because everyone's invested in this guy, he is kind of a pillar of the community. It could mean the inevitable destruction of everyone else in the community. So, you know, Nick came to me with this story, and he was really passionate about it. And I gave it a look over. It started off as a 10-minute piece.
Yep.
10 minutes.
10-minute short film. That wasn't even about a boxer.
No. And then it evolved.
It wasn't set in Atlantic City either, but yeah.
There we go. Yeah, and now we bumped it to, it takes place in AC. You know, and he's kind of on
where I grew up.
So it's authentic. He's in a small-time bracket, but this guy's trying to break into like the professional realm where he's getting some real money fights, and it just keeps getting in the way. It's a situation where, as many of us know, you may have the talent to do something, but you're not given the opportunities yet. So his girlfriend comes to him because they're supporting a kid, and they're put in a position where it's like, I know this is your dream, and I know you love this, but we have to face reality.
Right.
And like so many people, he has to make a decision to give up his dream to get in touch with reality. So it's that struggle, I think, that all of us face, and he's put to that test. I think the other big element here, the main antagonistic force, and a great symbol of that reality, is someone who's on the other side of the spectrum. While Joey kind of represents a working class hero, someone that everyone knows in the community, everyone reveres in the community, and someone who has a beautiful human spirit, is this other person who is very financially well off, who has things easy, and who got Julie pregnant when they were perhaps not mature enough to raise that kid, and then finally comes to the realization that he wants to have that family unit. So Chad shows up to Joey's house, and we're immediately thrust into a conflict here, a struggle between the classes and the loves.
Right.
So, yeah, see, this started from a 10-minute idea, and now it's it's a feature film. And what happened is we kept on talking about it, we kept on fleshing out the idea that Nick and Burke had created, and it just kept evolving because there's so much great stuff, and there's so many human questions.
Characters, and each character has its own story.
Exactly, yeah. Because it's such a diverse concept of what a dream is,
right,
and what a hope is, and everyone has a different reaction to that dream.
Right.
And that dream happens to revolve around Joey, but every character lives that dream out differently. And that's one thing that really surprised us working with this. What Nick and I were dedicated to doing was bringing the truth of the thing out. Every character had to have their own spine in reality. We made it our mission to have our antagonist be a hero of his own story. And it kind of created a beautiful struggle between someone you're rooting for, but then the person who's opposite of that. Because inserting the humanity was something that was critical with this project, and we want to bring all of those elements out so people can identify with the struggles. Life isn't like a neatly wrapped gift, you know what I mean? It's sloppy, it's messy, it's dirty, it's dark, and there are some things that we have to look at it with an honest lens. And that's one of the objectives of this story, is to show that there isn't just good and evil, but that there's a human struggle, and in that struggle we can err on both sides. So hopefully we have so many characters going through so many different struggles all related around one theme. We're hoping that everyone in the audience, can identify with one of those people.
Hi everybody, welcome to our Indiegogo campaign
On the ropes.
Originally the story was written as a 10-minute short about a boxer named Joey Bagliano, and I brought it to Mark. He saw it as a very character-driven piece and thought that it needed to be told in a feature film. Essentially, the movie is about blue-collar amateur boxer born and raised in Atlantic City, who is willing to protect his family at all costs, no matter what the sacrifice may be, even his dream. Mark will give you a little synopsis of what the film's about.
Yeah, so again, Joey's this kind of blue-collar hero that you've probably run into in your life. It's a very simple person. It's a person of moral principle, and a person who wants to use the gifts and strength that he has to benefit the community. His girlfriend, Julie, they're very much in love. Julie's also a warrior in her own capacity. She's a very strong woman. She's independent because she's had to be. She got pregnant when she was in college, had to drop out, postpone her dream, and now is essentially fighting to keep this family unit together. So her and Joey have initially some conflict. Joey, someone who's pursuing his dream, which is boxing, and not bringing any of the bills. And she, working 2 jobs, who is taking business classes to elevate the family situation. That generates some conflict between the two. Gianna is their little girl. And obviously Gianna is the priority of them both, though Joey loves his passion. He loves his little girl most of all. So initially we see these people coming together, trying to make the best of the situation, and it seems like they're going to pull through after Joey makes a compromise. They go to a priest who is a family friend, and someone they all grew up with together as well. The priest gives the advice that maybe Joey gives up boxing temporarily to help throw in and get some money into the family. Joey acquiesces to this, which creates an inner struggle, but he thinks that he's doing the right thing for the sake of the family. After the sacrifice, an ill-timing event, a kind of storm rolls in, and that's Chad. Chad is the father of Gianna and an old sweetheart that Julie had met in college. When the two get together, Gianna comes out of it, and Chad is not mature enough to stay in the relationship and leaves. Chad is a Wall Street, what eventually becomes an executive in his own right, but kind of drops the lifestyle. He starts searching for more. He comes to a realization that he misses Julie. When he comes back, he finds out that she's tied up with Joey.
But not married.
Right. So now we have a struggle between this simple hometown warrior and this young, ambitious tycoon. And there's going to be an inevitable confrontation of these two. So, to get into the community, we see Joey go to work and he meets some of his friends. You meet Vinny, who's his best friend from childhood. And that's, again, who Nick will be playing. Vinny is a simple guy, he's a fun-loving guy, and he's kind of someone who celebrates a meditation of gratitude. He's so grateful for the things that he does have. He's grateful for his friends, he's grateful for his family, his simple home, and his local bar spot. Vinny finds beauty in everything, and he has a gift for rallying people together. He's very much the leader of the group. Then you have Bobby, Vinny's brother, which is somewhat the antithesis of his brother. He wants so desperately to prove his worth to everyone, but has a really difficult time keeping anything together. He's often one to hatch all these pyramid schemes and have-baked ideas that almost always blow up in his face and cost the group, not only him. Then you have Cal. Cal is a mild-mannered, gentle friend of theirs. He was always the meeker of the bunch. He kind of got swallowed up by the crowd, and everyone else takes the role of the protector with Cal. Cal has a heart of gold, though, so it's really easy for everyone to get along with him. You have Jerome. Jerome is Joey's trainer. He's a bit older than everyone else in the group, but through Joey, he became friends with everyone. You know, Joey could not be around, and Jerome would still be at the bar, having drinks with Vinny and Bobby. He's a man who, unfortunately, has a bit of a weak will, and his thrill-seeking attitude got him in trouble with things like gambling, drinking, and women.
And he's also a local legend.
That's right, Golden Gloves,
City.
right?
He was a Golden Glove champion. I mean, he was just champion to the community. He made it. He had fame, fortune, but like many boxers, blew through that and opened up his own gym in Atlantic City.
Yeah, which makes his kind of investment in Joey's dream that much more.
Right.
Since he's the has-been, to relive his glory days, he goes
Right.
through Joey.
And it's a situation where this gym that he has, he's seen plenty of fighters, plenty of great fighters come and go, and get sidetracked by gangs, street life, drugs, and Joey is the one kid who he's got his head on straight, and Jerome knows that. Jerome believes in Joey 100%, and Joey's his ticket. Joey's his way to live
Right.
his dream again.
Absolutely. And that's something that ties all of these characters together. It's how they live that dream, their own dream and the group's dream. And that brings us to Tom O'Malley, who is the priest in the community. Now, Tom had a rough upbringing, which makes him... he can't really get into the rectory with the other priests as well as someone could without a spotted past. But because of that past, he found a way, with kind of like a Franciscan approach, to work outside the church and with the community, which makes everyone in this very humble community more trusting of him.
He's the father of the people.
He's father of the people, right. And he works directly to try to get Joey and Julie financial help, with getting Gianna into a Catholic school. The public school system is suffering in Atlantic City. There have been school closings specifically related to Hurricane Sandy and other events. It's in financial ruin. There's a steady decrease. So instead of having Gianna go to these subpar schools, Julie insists that she has to go to the Catholic school, which makes Joey and Julie, people of faith, very happy. So inevitably this community struggles with Joey giving up his dream. Because of him giving up his dream, and because of Chad's appearance, a rift starts to appear within the group, specifically between Joey and Julie. Maria, which is Vinny's wife, is a very strong community-oriented woman, and someone who is also taking a leadership role in that group, tries to help seal that rift and get everyone to come together again. And that means getting Joey back in the gym, even if it's just to blow off some steam. Everyone is aware of this as an opportunity to get Joey ready for this fight, which is dropped. Boardwalk Hall, which is a huge venue for this amateur fighter, and he has an opportunity now, out of the blue seemingly, through Bobby, which is Joey's manager, to get an undercard ballot and get in the fight. So we have a redemption story of this man who gave up his dream because it was never coming into fruition, when suddenly he has the biggest opportunity of his life, and in one swoop can realize his dream and save his family. The conflict for Joey is to get through all of that, which, without giving the story away, will come at some great cost.
Hi everybody, my name is Nick Tatey. I'm the director of On the Ropes. This is Mark Lombardo, my lead actor. I'll be playing Joey Bagliano. The story is set in a blue-collar community. Atlantic City, and it's about a boxer named Joey Bagliano, an amateur boxer named Joey Bagliano, who is willing to protect his family at all costs, no matter what the sacrifice may be. Take over.
So, yeah, Nick gave me this script. Started off as 10 pages. He and a friend of his had written it to be a short. And
Ryan Burke, who's also going to be the cinematographer.
Very excited. It evolved to a 40-page spec. The 40 pages evolved to a feature, which is what it is today. So I was happy to dive into these characters, and really they became the story. So starting with our protagonist, Joey Bagliano, he is an amateur boxer in his blue-collar community. It's kind of like you get what you see. He's a simple guy. He's a man who has a moral compass, and is a man who realizes that he has a gift and wants to use that gift for the benefit of the community. He's kind of opens doors for people. He's always smiling, always doing what he can to help, and always doing something to inject hope in this kind of community that's falling apart and is filled with such despair. Now, he lives with his girlfriend, Julie. Julie is also this warrior in her own capacity. She's tough as nails.
Irish American.
Yeah, no joke. So he and Julie come together on common ground, and they fall in love. Julie has a little girl named Gianna, and the three take care of each other. Julie had Gianna after getting knocked up by a Wall Street guy in New York. She was in college pursuing her dream, which is to be a writer. She made the sacrifice to go live home with her folks and to raise her daughter with a supporting community. Through her friends, Maria and Vinny, she met Joey Bagliano, and they fell in love immediately. And that takes us to Vinny, which was Joey's childhood best friend. Vinny is a really simple guy. He's somewhat the leader of the group of guys. He is a simple person, but an incredibly wise person, and kind of developed his own philosophy of what is important in life, in which he prioritizes family and friends. Now, Bobby is his brother, and Bobby doesn't really have it as together as Vinny does. Bobby's the kind of person who comes up with all these harebrained schemes, and none of them seem to pan out. He's always the butt of the jokes within the group, and although he has the best intentions, he can often get the group into trouble. Now, Bobby is Joey's manager, Vinny is the best friend, and Jerome is the trainer. He works out Joey. Now, Joey came to Jerome because Jerome was, in his own right, a local legend. He lived the dream. He was Golden Gloves champion, and a man who knew what he was doing. Slowly that began to fade as age came, and as it would, Jerome found a hope to continue his dream by living vicariously through Joey. So he saw a lot of potential in Joey. He quickly kind of emerged from all the other people that Jerome had trained, and he saw an opportunity to create another champion. Unfortunately, Joey couldn't break through. Now, sometimes there was a managerial issue, sometimes there just wasn't any fights that really paid, but Joey can't seem to break past the amateur circuit and get into a serious game. And that's sort of where we pick up in our struggle. Joey's coming out of another amateur fight that's just not paying. He comes home to Julie, and a fight kind of breaks out. Just bills aren't being paid. Gianna needs to go to a good school.
Catholic school.
The public school system's a nightmare in Atlantic City right now. It's really decrepit. Now Joey and Julie, being people of faith, want to send her to a proper school. The only way that's possible is if Joey gets another job. Julie already gave up hers to pursue 2 jobs, and she sees that fair that Joey do the same. It's the least he can do. They take their grievances to Tom O'Malley, who's the community priest. And though he's not directly involved in the diocese, he is, in his own element, a priest of the community. A simple man with a spotted past, which keeps him from getting in and penetrating this kind of religious community, gives him an advantage to actually connect with the people on a more personal level, and he in his own right becomes a local legend. Now, Joey, with the advice of this priest, decides to give up his dream so he can support his family and give Julie the same shot to pursue her dream eventually. There's a small sacrifice for a potentially a greater reward where everyone, including Gianna, is rewarded. All is going well for a little while until it backfires. Julie's old flame, the father to Gianna, comes back into the picture, and he's through with his prioritizing his Wall Street career, and kind of his immature ways are falling behind when he's come to a maturity of his own and realizes that Julie and Gianna is what he really wants for a fulfilling life. Now, though Chad wants his family back, there's obvious conflict. There's Joey, the man that Julie truly loves, now represented with a battle between this true love and a realistic circumstances. What's best for the little girl? So that has everyone coming to terms with themselves, their strengths and their weaknesses, to see what the greatest possible outcome could be for not only themselves and their dreams, but this little girl.
Hi, I'm Nick Tatey. I'm the director of On the Ropes. This is Mark Lombardo, lead actor and writer. Originally, when me and my friend first started writing this story, it was a 10-minute short film that I brought to Mark, and he saw that it was a very character-driven piece, and thought that the story needed to be told in longer form. So what we have is a story about a blue-collar amateur boxer out of Atlantic City named Joey Bagliano, who is willing to protect his family at all costs, even if it means sacrificing his dream.
Yeah, so Joey is someone that I think everybody knows some capacity. It's like a simple, big-hearted person. Definitely someone with a strong moral compass, who has a gift, knows he has a gift, and wants to use that gift for the betterment of the community. Someone who doesn't take no for an answer, and is definitely willing to make a stand and push past challenges. Kind of like tough as nails, but also has a big heart. That takes us to Julie, which is his girlfriend. Julie is also a warrior in her own capacity. Now, when Julie was in college, she got knocked up one night. She was going to NYU for writing, and kind of had to sidetrack her dream, which was writing. So she came back home to live with her family, and through some mutual friends, met Joey, fell in love, and the three kind of came together and created a family unit. So Joey, Julie, and Gianna started creating a family together. And Gianna is treated like Joey's own blood. That's how he raises her. That's how he treats her. And he's very much in love with both of the girls. Chad is the legitimate father, and he had met Julie while they were in school together. So he was working on Wall Street, met her at an NYU bar, knocked her up, and he wasn't ready to commit to a kind of relationship that would create a family. So he kind of fell out, was willing to pay checks every month, and that was about as much involvement as he had wanted. As he slowly came to maturity, he realized the responsibility to the family, and he realized that something was missing in his own life. So he started to seek Julie and Gianna out, track them back to Julie's folks in Atlantic City, and would find out that she was living with Joey, in essentially a squalor in comparison to what he could bring as a major breadwinner. So it opens with Joey going home to Julie after a fight with less than acceptable money. Now Joey has another job. Julie works 2 jobs, and they kind of get into a bit of an argument for the sake of Gianna's schooling, that Joey needs to bring in more income. Now Gianna, instead of being thrust into a public school system that's rapidly deteriorating and that was hurt by Sandy, both Joey and Julie, who are people of faith, want to put her in the best Catholic school. Now they have a friend and an advisor who is affiliated with the school, and that's Tom O'Malley, who is a priest. So they go to the father and have a conversation. They try to get Gianna in any way possible to maximize their financial aid. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people who are in similar struggles, and they can't get the full financial aid. That's when Father O'Malley encourages Joey to get a normal job, which he gets through Vinny, his best friend. Now Vinny is a really down-to-earth guy. It makes sense that him and Joey are best friends because they share a lot of the same philosophies in life. Vinny is very much the leader that wrangles all the guys together.
And he's Joey's biggest supporter.
He's Joey's biggest supporter, yeah. The way Vinny sees it, one day he was rescued by Joey in a school fight because he was writing love notes to a girl. Joey kind of took on someone that was bigger than him, knocked him out, and since then, Vinny has been has looked up to Joey as a legend in that capacity. So the two formed a really solid friendship, and they remained close ever since. Now, Vinny's older brother, his name is Bobby. And again, all of these guys are really close, and they have such a camaraderie with each other. Now, Bobby doesn't have the kind of, I'll say, luck, compassion.
He's a fuck up.
Yeah, there you go. To put it simply, Bobby's hard up, and everything that he touches just turns to mush. That's his one gift, really. He has all these harebrained schemes that never come into fruition, and he's often, to the detriment of the group, having things blow up in his face.
But he's desperate to be the one that pulls them all together.
Yeah, and I think everyone loves Bobby because he's got such a big heart and because he cares so much about everyone. No one can deny his efforts to elevate the group. Now, Bobby is related specifically in this plot through his desperation to be a good manager to Joey, and he's looking for something that would put Joey over the edge. Just like his brother Vinny, Bobby believes in Joey immensely and will do anything to get him out of the amateur circuit and into the professional branch of boxing. Now, Cal is somewhat the more meek friend, who is kind of taken under the wing of Joey. Cal's gentle demeanor is balanced out by how kind he is, and he's also somewhat of a mediator and a level-headed person in the group. Cal often has to have everyone speak for him, which is a struggle with all these big personalities, but no one could imagine the group without him. Finally, we have Jerome. Jerome is somewhat older than everyone else, and was approached by Joey when Joey was ready to pursue boxing seriously. Jerome was known to be a local legend. He was a Golden Gloves champion and a hero in his own right. Joey saw this as a great opportunity to take the best mentor. Jerome saw Joey as an opportunity to take a prized pupil. He saw a gift in Joey, and out of all the other students, Jerome wanted to invest his energies into this kid, who he genuinely believed in. Jerome became good friends with Joey, and because of the closeness of the group, he became friends with everyone else. They formed a unique group of people. So, the idea is Joey making the ultimate sacrifice in the beginning, which is boxing, because it wasn't paying off. He put the priorities of his family first. This was all well and good until Chad comes around, seeking out his family, and can offer the element that's missing in the household. Julie has an opportunity to trade true love for security. And she's put in that difficult position, and seeks the counsel of her friends and community to help her and to help Joey overcome it. Now Joey is presented by his manager with a unique opportunity. Bobby comes to him and tells him that, seemingly out of nowhere, there's an opportunity to fight at Boardwalk Hall. This would be the jump into the professional circuit that Joey needs.
This is something they all dreamed of when they were kids, growing up in Atlantic City, fighting at Boardwalk Hall. That's really like the pinnacle. If you're a boxer anywhere in the country, but especially growing up in Atlantic City.
So here's the chance for the entire group to realize their dream. And by Joey becoming victorious, they too would be victorious. Joey sees this as an opportunity to elevate not only himself in his own dream being actualized, but elevating his community and his family. And he feels the pressure to serve the community as he always did. As someone who's revered, as someone who's always shaking hands, always smiling, who's always being called champ, he has taken it upon himself to be the hero of the community and to elevate everyone in that capacity. Turning his back on that means turning his back on the community, which he has no choice to do if he wants to support his family. So a man torn between his family and his dream has to come to an inevitable confrontation with the most antagonistic force, which is the security that Chad can offer. Chad can seemingly steal his family away with one job, paycheck, and all of these things that he can give that Joey cannot. So it's a struggle through the community, Joey, and this outside force. And you'll have to see how it plays out.